Hey all, Chris Bassett here, and I'm going to show you how I installed my keyless entry doorknob. Let's get into it. First thing you want to do is remove the old doorknob, or if it's a brand new door, you got to cut a hole in the door. There's a sizing chart in the instruction manual for that. Here's a diagram for the holes and the latch. Make sure that your drive slot is centered in between the door hole. You can either push it in to 2 3/8 or pull it out for 2 3/4. Make sure you install the latch so it hits the strike plate correctly. And then here I'm just showing you the drive slot. It needs to be centered in the door. You have two different options. Push it in for 60 millimeter from the door edge or pull it out for 70 millimeter from the door edge. Next up, we're just using some screws to secure the strike plate and the latch. The screws I were using was Phillips, so I just used a Phillips screwdriver. Once that's done, you want to install the front module. First, you want to run the drive bar through the latch. Make sure the drive bar is vertical, and then you also run the connector wire through the bore hole of the door. Here I'm just showing you the orientation of everything, what you want the drive bar to look like, and where the screw holes go through. I'm going to throw the keypad on here in a second. It's hard to hold the phone and the keypad and the doorknob all at the same time. Here I went ahead and set the phone down, and now I'm recording the orientation of the keypad first, followed by the doorknob. Once you get the two parts assembled, make sure that the drive bar is vertical once again when inserting through the latch. If you don't do this, the vertical position, the thumb turn won't turn side to side, and you're going to have problems with the cylinder or jammed thumb turn, or sometimes a key that won't release from the cylinder. Everything should fit together smoothly. On the opposite side of the door, we're going to install the mounting plate. The mounting plate needs to go on one way, so the top screw holes on the mounting plate should be angled away from the door surface. The arrow should go up, and the text, you should be able to read the text. The open slot is for the wire connector to slide through, and then the drive bar goes through the circular hole. The trickiest part is lining the screws up so that you can secure the mounting plate and the front module together. I just tighten it up by hand until everything's snug, and then tighten it down with a screwdriver. Fast forward, you don't need to see me tighten down the screws. Alright, next up we'll be connecting the back assembly to the mounting plate. It's pretty important that the thumb turn be horizontal so that the drive bar can fit into that slot. It's kind of hard to see, but the slot will be vertical inside. So make sure that your bar is vertical and that your thumb turn is horizontal. Otherwise, you could break something. There's a better picture. You can see the slot on the inside is vertical. We're going to connect the wire tabs. So you want to make sure that they're orientated properly. There's only one way they can snap together. You can see the red arrow and the blue arrow should be touching. Make sure not to bend any of the prongs up. If you have to, kind of wiggle it back and forth until it snaps together. It should be fully engaged. If you bend any tabs or pinch any wires, you're going to have problems with your door working. So the mounting plate does kind of push the knob away from the door a little bit and give you a little bit of room to work with, but you still want to be careful when you put the two parts together. And then here I'm just showing you where the screws will mount through. They mount through that black part there and then into the mounting plate in the back. That's where you'll be screwing it together. And then here I'm just taking a Phillips and snugging everything up. At this point, your doorknob should work like a regular doorknob. We're going to install 4 AA batteries. That way you can take advantage of the keypad feature. You're going to put the negative terminal of the battery against the spring, and then they alternate from negative to positive. Next, we're going to go over how to program a code into the door lock. So to add your code, you need to make sure the switch is set to off. They included like a little small pick tool so you can press the buttons and flick the switches. You'll hear an audible click sound when it's in the off position. And then here I'm just showing you that you want to make sure that the switch is set to off by sliding it to the right. And then next you'll press the S button, hold it for about a second and you'll hear it beep. And come around to the front, punch in the code you want, and then hit the unlock button and it should beep at you. 2 beeps means it accepted the code, and then 3 beeps you'll have to try a different code. It says it'll take anywhere from a 2 to an 8-digit code. Once the code has been successfully programmed, the lock will operate using the keypad. To check if a passcode has been successfully programmed in the memory, manually unlock the door lock and open the door. Make sure the door is held open, and then press the lock button on the keypad. If the lock beeps and the latch is engaged, at least one code has been saved. If the lock beeps 2 or more times, you need to reset the passcode and try again. A few features to troubleshoot. Low batteries. Change out with new batteries. That's probably the most common issue. If you didn't set the driver bar and thumb position correctly, you could have a jammed doorknob. If the keypad connection was loose, so when you hooked up your wires, either you crimped the wires or you bent a tong. Anything else, you probably want to give them a call. Here's the number in the website. If you have any questions for me, go ahead and put them down in the comments. And if this was helpful, hit the like button. Thanks.